And we are recording. How's everybody doing? My name is Nick. I'm a graphic designer based here in Los Angeles. In addition to my business, one of the coolest things I get to do is I'm also a design teacher at Cal State Northridge here in Los Angeles. A lot like what you guys are going through, we are switching to online virtual courses after spring break next week. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of do this for my class. We have next week to figure out what we're going to do. But I wanted to take this time and this opportunity to maybe share a project that we do in our class with you guys. There's been such good buzz on Twitter lately with different instructors and different people in the education world, kind of figuring out, is there something we can do during this time to make sure that everybody is still learning, still grasping, and maybe even trying things that are above and beyond what they typically do in their class or their instruction. So if we can share some of these projects with each other, hopefully we can give you some chance of getting some really good new projects and things into your portfolio. So I'm going to wing this. We've never done this before. Like I say, we're still trying to figure out how we're going to do it in class, but I'm going to share with you a project that my students are currently working on. And we are about 1 week in, and it is a packaging-based project, very brand driven. And the cool thing about it is really using Adobe Dimension as the one platform I would say that works best for this project. You can obviously do it in any other way with like smart objects or mockups that you might have or find downloadable off the internet. But if you need something that is packaging based, or you want to give Adobe Dimension a try, I highly recommend using it and getting really acquainted with it, because it is such a time saver and it makes for some incredible looking assets for your portfolio and a case study that you might be working on. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my slides with you. This is the brief, and we will continue to do different videos down the road to kind of get you going on this. So you can do this at your own pace. You can do it in real time with us. We're going to just wing this and see how we do. Okay. So next up, it's called the What If Project. And forgive me if my video slide here is in the way. You will have a PDF of this that I'll find a way to kind of make it downloadable. So imagine if you are a brand and you have a strong enough presence that you've created a trusting consumer base and they just trust you as that brand. Can that brand exist and kind of take themselves into new places and create products that they wouldn't normally be associated with? Can you really kind of bend the rules and be in a different area and still allow your brand to kind of work? So this was inspired by a really cool student project I saw posted on the Die Line. And the students chose a brand and picked products and designed an entire line of healthcare, toiletries, health and beauty, health and wellness products that the brand would typically not be associated with. This student here took JetBlue, and what he did was he made a toiletry kit. So it was this entire thing of a hand sanitizer, maybe the toothbrushes, a little stain remover pen, and this would be a convenience pack that consumers of JetBlue and customers flying would get as a cool little promo piece. But the challenge here is, how does a brand who doesn't typically do consumer-based products now work in this field? And as a designer and as an art director, your job is to take a brand and put it into this world and see how you could do it. It's a really fun challenge to try. So the What If Project, here's your kind of task at hand. You're going to design a series of health and beauty products based in packaging form from an unlikely company that currently does not live in this industry in any way. So even kind of look around and think, if you choose a brand that might have something in the shampoo or hair care products or something like that in the past, I would challenge you to find something that has never played in this world. So that way you're doing something totally from scratch. So I mentioned at the beginning, this was going to be a packaging-based project, and your goal is you're going to pick 3 unique different model shapes for your packaging. The challenge again on this one is to not only adapt a brand to packaging that doesn't currently use packaging, but also I want you to have 3 different models to challenge yourself on how the flow and feel of the graphics are going to work on there. So you're creating a line look, you're creating a campaign right on packaging. You, as the designer or the art director here, whatever you want to call yourself, I like to call my students the art directors on all their projects, makes them feel good. And I think it also takes ownership. You get to choose the brand here. There's so many different brands, and we'll get into that. The project here, you have two roads you can try. The Adobe Dimension route would be 100% the most favorable, or the most kind of like uh, inline app to use for this. It's Adobe's new 3D Dimension software. It's really easy to understand. It's drag and drop. Unbelievable program to start learning if you haven't already. If you don't have the access to it, or maybe your computer does not have enough RAM to kind of run it, successfully, you can always use the PSD mockup site and use free mockups that you find online. There is no shortage of free ones out there. You can even find some that you pay for. Obviously, the more you pay, the better they start looking with like yellow images and things like that. So to show my students a few examples, I just picked 3 random pieces here that I thought would be kind of unique to try. So imagine Home Depot. They've never lived in this space. They might have done something in the past of cleaners or something for your household. But for personal care stuff, there really hasn't been anything there. So the idea I kind of came up with was, what if it had a hand cleaning kit? So you've done a do-it-yourself project. You've used all this stuff that you've got at Home Depot. And Home Depot's put together this really cool kit to clean your hands, to apply sunscreen. Maybe there's a scrub or something unique in there, but it could be just a unique kit to give to consumers to help promote their brand. Fiat would be another great one to do. Any car company doing a glove box kit. So the idea here is that in the glove box, there'd be this cool kit with a hand sanitizer, maybe some sunscreen, anything that would make it convenient for their customers while traveling and driving their car. Facebook, another example, maybe it's a travel kit. You can plug and play and put all different kinds of great stuff in there to figure out what you're going to do. I will also include a link in the PDF that will show some of my previous student work in this project. So you can see what some of the other ones have done in the past, and that will be in this PDF when you get it. Another example was, this was something done by that original class. This was Pendleton, and we know them for their, their home goods and everything in their textiles. But the student here decided, what if they were a cologne and soap and toiletry company? So it's taking that brand, giving it a line look, giving it a name for the collection, and inspiring it based on that brand. Here's 2 other ones that I thought were really great. Patagonia, a series of sea salts and bath salts for your bathroom. And then this one here on the right is a Nike line of cosmetics and beauty and makeup, all under the Fierce category name. So again, you're coming up with a series name for this piece in addition to picking the brand that you're going to do. There are no shortage of brands to pull from here. If you pull from anything in the consumer goods business here, something that a food-based product is always really good. Teas and coffees are really great. Snacks are really good. Candies, you name it, anything in the dessert world. One thing I always just say is that pick something that's going to have a good adaptability into flavors and varieties for your healthcare stuff. So if you're doing something that's scented, it'd be great to pick a brand that has products that are maybe, fruit oriented or dessert oriented, or have really attractive and good flavors to base what your products would be on. So I always like to show a few examples of some really killer line looks. This is the inspiration here to make sure that everything you do, all 3 pieces, even though they're different shapes, should have a cohesive look when you're all said and done with them. Again, here's this incredible brand strategy board. This shows you like the top 9 kind of conglomerate companies that own everything. So again, there's no shortage to them. Looking through here, I'm sure you can find some really great ones to do. Again, remember their flavors and their what they use to kind of create their brands. Make sure it's adaptable to things that are going to be in this world. So what can you start doing to start this project and get ready? Here's your homework. One thing I would suggest, if you haven't already, install Adobe Dimension, get that up and running, try it out. I'm providing you with a fantastic YouTube video here that someone has made that is a great tutorial that just shows you how easy the drag and drop method is within this program. Truly, it's 3D for dummies. I've never, ever experienced or been a part of any 3D applications in the past, and I was able to adapt into this very, very quickly. If you're using Adobe Dimension, the third thing you want to do is identify 3 packaging models. Their starter assets have at least 5 to 6 different things that can be used in this project. Everything from a jar to a tube to a pump bottle with, the little pump thing on the top. Just make sure you are picking 3 different ones. And if you're going the mock-up route with PSDs and smart objects, I just suggest you find 3 different ones that have a very similar kind of feel to them that can make up for your series, and have those ready to go. And then pick a brand. That's all you got to do, is pick the brand, get some identifiable models, and download the Adobe Dimension one if you haven't already, and that's the way you're going to go. I highly suggest doing it because it's one of those things that's so new and fresh that I think it can make you, it can really help you stand out with a competitive edge when you are graduated and looking for a job eventually. Okay, so that's kind of it. I hope you guys join in on this. Again, I'm winging this 100%. We're going to figure this out as much as we can. I'll be able to find some way of kind of seeing some of the work that maybe you guys are doing, maybe getting groups together to do critiques would be fantastic virtually. So that's kind of what we're doing. Again, welcome aboard on this ride. Let's make the best of this time we're going to have. Hope to talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye.